Good evening. My name is Fred Krakowiak, author and artist, and this evening we'll be visiting the continent of Africa. The close encounters with Africa wildlife allow me to look into their eyes, to gaze into their soul, and to capture their spirit on canvas and in bronze. And this reveals the magic of Africa. In this particular slides I'm showing you, we'll be climbing Mount Karisimbi, which means tall. And we started at 7,600 feet approximately. And we actually climbed up above 11,000 feet, or the cloud line. And after 6 hours, we came to this, the path of the mountain gorilla. And doesn't it not look like a huge bowling ball, 8 feet wide? Here was our reward. The silverbacks and the family of 38. It was the Sousa group. We were able to get within meters of them. And this was the leader, Cry. 450 pounds, 6 feet tall. The strength of 7 NFL linemen. There he is sitting proudly on his perch. The silverbacks that live up in the mountains do not drink water. Many people do not realize this, but what they do is they drink or hydrate out of salary plants. And the salary plants are in diameter 1 to 2 to 3 inches. As we were leaving, Cry bounced off his perch, and he's 25 meters away, and he began coming towards us. If he's being aggressive, he's going to drop on all fours, throw leaves and branches in his mouth, take 2 or 3 more steps, jump on his hind legs, beat his chest, show his canines by opening his mouth. But Cry had done none of that. Cry took 2 or 3 more steps and kept coming. We backed up as far as we could. We read his body language as being non-aggressive, and he sat down 4 feet in front of us. His arm reaches out, fingers the size of Coke bottles. We had nowhere to go. My wife kept pressing up against me, and I'm like, we have nowhere to go. The hand comes out, and he grabs a bushel of the celery, throws it under his left arm. He did this 4, 5, 6 times until his arm could carry no more. And then he turned around and went back to his perch. This is a Sumi painting that I did of Cry. Sumi is ancient Chinese, and it's painting with dark ink. This is an oil on copper, which is a lot of fun to do because there's a lot of motion. Elephants. Elephants are not easy to track, believe it or not. Even though they're as big as a house, they're very difficult to track. Can you imagine a bull, 13,000 pounds, 11 feet at the shoulder, his tusks are 5 feet long. They weigh almost 300 pounds, more or less, and he's lifting himself up on his hind legs and reaching for the acacia pods. And these are what we call elephant popcorn. The wind is at our back. We crawl up next to the trunk of a tree. I'm actually laying down in Cape Buffalo dung, but I was so interested in catching this picture. And Humphrey's sitting next to me, my security blanket. The wind shifts. Muccini drops to all fours, pivots, and charges. And I mean, when he hits the ground, dust is exploding into the air. And he's coming, and at 30 meters away, you have 3 seconds to make a decision. His ears are out. His trunk is tucked, but not coiled. He's looking straight ahead. His forehead is not leaning down. This is a mock charge. He comes closer, tusk coming at us. Again, ears out and flapping, and now I can smell musk. He reaches out. He pulled branches down. It sounds like 2x4s cracking. His eyes looking right straight down as he pulls down these branches. Dust is so thick, actually, I tried to lift my head up to get fresh air, but I was afraid I was going to get hit by the tusk, so I brought it back down. Then he spun on his left foot pivoted, and moved away. This was his tail. This was how close his foot was. Now, many people have asked me before, Fred, come on, Photoshop? You can't Photoshop video, so this is it. I happen to have my video camera. Look at that. You can see how you had 3 seconds. We had 3 seconds to make a quick determination of what he's doing. Here's a little slow motion of it. Just look, can you imagine that coming at you, 13,000-pound, 5-foot tusk, right over your head. You must always trust your guide, and I trusted Humphrey to read the bull just as I did, a mock charge. This is a sumi of the Muccini bull. Again, an oil on copper, a bronze, which we have hanging here. As we traveled down the Zambezi, Humphrey found lion tracks. And he saw the lion print, and we looked at it, and he figured the lion had to be 500 pounds. And so now he looked at me, he said, let's track lion. And I'm looking at the tracks, and I said, they went off to the west. And he heads east. I'm thinking, maybe he didn't understand me. West. And he heads east. So I keep my mouth shut, and I continue to follow him. We pass herds of eland. We pass herds of zebra. We pass some elephants. And then after about 45 minutes, and we see this lion. Spectacular golden mane. 4.5 feet at the shoulder. Had to be 475 pounds. We get down on one knee. The wind's still at our back. He doesn't see us. He continues to move on. So we decide we want to get a little closer. There's his brother. Look at that golden mane, and look at underneath, just a dark, dark, deep black. And he was certainly the larger of the two. So we continued to take pictures and follow them. Very thick brush, and we came into this clearing. While we were at this clearing, the male lions had turned. The wind had shifted, and they picked up our scent. And now, not 12, 15 meters from us, were 2 male lions looking dead straight at us, tails twitching. Oh my. I looked at Humphrey. He gave me the nod, and we crawled backwards on our hands and knees, facing them for 40 yards. And they stared at us the whole way. When we got back about 40 yards, he looked at me and we stood up. I said, okay, Humphrey, I've got 2 questions. The first is, what color are my pants? The second one, when we were at the river, every sign I had pointed to the west, and yet you went east. I need to know why. What did I miss? He said, Fred, you used all of your senses but one. I said, which one was that? He said, you understood using everything. He said, your sense of hearing. I said, I listened to the elephants, the elands. I didn't hear anything. He said, no, what you missed was the juvenile baboon. The first call a juvenile baboon learns is a call, alarm of a lion. So if you hear a lot of juvenile baboons screaming lion, that's all they know. And they were all screaming lion, lion, lion in the east. This is a oil on copper, and that's bronze, which is here at the gallery. Shut your eyes, use your senses. You can feel the African wildlife and the people communicate the magnificence and the frailty of life. In Africa, nature is actually distilled to its essence. Thank you.